All right. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the ultimate tailgate party here at Carmies Bar and Grill. Nate Mullins, Tommy Hall, Dominic Helmstetter, and we've got Calvert football coach Steve Reesler on with us. What a night, man. We are packed here at Carmies Bar and Grill. It is a packed house. Have you ever seen it this busy out here, Steve?
Well, obviously they do a great job out here, so it's probably been this busy before, but it's always nice to see this busy.
I'm saying like the sea of royal blue.
Oh, absolutely. For a night where this is all benefiting, Calvert Athletic Boosters, like you guys do a great job helping us out with that. It's great to see everybody come out, and obviously they'd be here anyway, but to know that some of their money tonight is getting given back is even more special. So we really appreciate that, all you guys, and obviously the Carver House Sports.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on with us, Coach, giving us some of your time. I know it's a busy week. You got a lot to prepare for this week.
Sure. Well, I mean, you guys have busy weeks too. Weeks are always busy, so it's about what you do and how you make time for it.
That's
obviously.
right.
So it is what it is, and we appreciate you guys again giving our kids and our team, some time, and our school some time. So again, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
What a tremendous week too. Week 11, man.
I mean, you love the sound of that.
Absolutely. And we're gonna have two streaming games this weekend on Heart of Ohio Sports, one on the Adrenaline Stream with Tiffin, Columbia, and Rocky River, and then, of course, on the X Stream, we'll have Dominic Helmstetter and Zach Dillon covering Calvert against Lima Central Catholic. The Thunderbirds going over to Spartan Stadium. So, I mean, you got to get all sorts of names and gimmicks thrown around. So.
Absolutely. No, I hear it's really nice stadium, nice venue. I've never been there personally, but I hear it's absolutely outstanding, so we're excited to get a chance.
Yeah, I know the press box is a little you got to get a little cozy in there, Dom.
Yeah.
So just letting you know.
All right.
Been a long
You're going to get friendly with some people in there.
I was going to say, it's been a long time since I've
meet
seen
some
a
new
press
people.
Box. Even when I was putting there, they kicked me out. So
Right?
Oh, goodness.
So, Coach, you got a lot to prepare for this week. Obviously, you got a big matchup on Friday. Now, you've been in a lot of playoff matchups. You've been this week one of the playoffs is changed over the last couple of years. You had 2020
Absolutely.
where everybody made it in. Last year is when they started this whole 16 teams 16 teams get in.
Yes.
And this year it's the second year of that system. Now, how have you kind of acclimated yourselves to this and gotten used to this whole idea of the road team going to the home team site for that first and second round? How do you guys prepare for that?
Well, I don't know if it's something you prepare for or get used to more than something that you accept. Obviously, even and not to, but back in 2 years ago, I think you said everyone got in, and that was people could opt in, opt out, and that was a great thing too. And then before that, it was 8 teams a region. Back in the day, it was 4, then it was 2. So over time, obviously, we've increased the amount of teams, which gives more kids opportunity. Which is a great thing. Obviously, the more teams that get in, the more kids get the experience, and there's all kinds of positives. Every positive brings a negative as well. And even back in the day, you see 8-1 matchups. Sometimes the 8 wins. Sometimes it's a total default matchup. So sometimes the parity that it's created, or less of that, as you widen that whatever you call it, a seed or whatever else. Sometimes those seeds aren't always true. We've been matched up with teams that are divisions higher and beat them by several points that have home games this week.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
but then here we are in a tough region, in a division lower, and we're fighting for our lives. So at the same time, you never know how those things work out. You just kind of accept them and roll with it. 2 years ago, I said 16-1. Why would we even do that? That's not even something that you should even imagine when 8-1 is already a tough enough matchup. But now that we're in it, and we're 13-4, and I think we got a great shot this week. I'm pretty excited about being there, so I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, I mean, I just think it's really unique because, you said it yourself. There was the 8-1 matchup back, and a lot of times you'd have those upsets, the 8 beating the 1.
Sure.
Last year we even saw Bellevue go down. Number 1 seed got beat by a 16 seed. So it does happen, and I think this gives the lower seeded teams an opportunity to showcase that, maybe the cards didn't fall where we wanted them to fall, but we have a chance to right the ship at the end of the year. Just give us a look at it. That's all we want, right?
No, I agree. Obviously, we've been in different places as coaches, and I've been in places where we were higher seeds and maybe didn't have a tough schedule, and a team with a lower seed and a tougher schedule with a worse record even came in really, showed us a way to play football. I mean, we did a great job at Gibsonburg, I thought, for a few times there, and we played an attack, which was a league that was great for us, and then we'd all of a sudden we get matched up with a BBC school or something that was a 7, or like Van Buren comes into Gibsonburg, and they're a really good football team, and sometimes those seeds matter, sometimes they don't. So we're hoping that we're that one that
that's right.
come in and do that kind of thing. So we think that we've hit some good competition, especially as of late. The last 4 or 5 weeks, our football team has grown a lot. We know that Lima Central Catholic's a beast. We're not naive, and we're not acting like there's not an elephant in the room here. Like, we're not all dumb and acting like this ain't real. So at the same time, our kids are very aware of who we're playing this week. They know that they have their hands full, and I think they're getting more excited about it every day.
Tommy, what's the famous quote? You don't quite know how big the mountain is till you put your hand on it, right?
Absolutely. And, with Lima Central Catholic, playoff perennial, going against the Thunderbirds, I mean, this ain't an unbeatable. They come in with a 6-4 record. I mean, they don't so much rebuild as they do reload, and that's kind of the downside of playing Northwest Ohio football is there's so many expectations, and it never gets any easier on you. And I find Calvert kind of in a mirror matchup, especially even when you talk about the seating arrangements. Calvert is such a young team that come through its maturation process, but have faced a meat grinder of a schedule in your Gibsonburgs, your Hopewell Loudons. So again, I mean, Calvert's battle tested against this against all these schools, and fighting for their season last week against Lakota, coming through. These are the games you play for. You play for week 10 to get to week 11, and I don't think the Calvert Senecas see anything but Lima as just that next step as a program to get to that next level.
Yeah. No, I absolutely appreciate that. Like I said, I think that's where our young men are. Like I said, these Calvert dudes, I mean, their character is resilient. They don't quit. They work their tails off every day, and just to like you said, the maturation process over the last even year from last season to this season we talk about, and they have done a great job and put themselves in position to play another week of football. So again, like, we're really excited about what we got going on, and like I said, I think they're excited to be together for another week, and like I said, we're going to go down there and have some fun. And,
that's good.
What do we have to lose? What do we have to lose? Whether we're the top seed, the bottom seed, this seed, that seed. I mean, who cares? Like I said, all these seeds don't matter.
Yeah.
Whether you're, again, it doesn't matter what league you're from. But you said yourself, we hope that we've been battle tested. We've played teams whether we travel or not. Buckeye local, they're D4, whether they're a great D4 team or not, does that matter? I don't know. We went and traveled and played a team. Berne Union comes up here, they're D6. They have a home playoff game this week. We did okay against them. Are those the same teams that we play in Northwest Ohio? No, but they're still good teams, at the same time. So we hope that through the last 5 weeks that we've gotten better. We've played some decent teams in this last stretch here. They're all well coached, so hopefully we can go into this weekend at least with a mindset in our locker room that we have a chance to win. We don't care about there's all kinds of people that obviously can look at the matchup and say what they say based on past history, based on a playoff game that they saw Lima Central Catholic play 5 years ago, how good they were, and as far as you guys all know, but as a lot of us know, high school football is it's a thing that changes from season to season.
That's
so,
right.
Obviously we hope that we're on the up and up as well, and our kids have the opportunity to go out there and shine. So all those things that are outside factors don't really matter. Our whole goal right now is to get at least 46 guys in the locker room believing that we have a chance. Because right now it doesn't matter if it's 20 guys out of 46 that think we can, 20 that maybe we can, 10 that don't think we can even have a shot. We got to get all those guys on board. I know the coaching staff's on board, so we got some young coaches that bring a lot of fire in that aspect too. Even get me excited about crazy stuff. So again, we're having fun coaching, we're having fun playing. We just want to carry the wave and keep going.
All right, Dom, if you got questions for Coach,
Oh,
I know
yeah.
you're going to be there on Friday. So
I'm looking forward to it.
You got a list of questions.
Man. I have to applaud you. You were the first coach that actually answered my question on prediction. you were a little off. I mean, you scored too many points. Is that possible?
No. Well, obviously, no. That's a little sore subject.
That's a good thing, right?
Might have scored a little too much. At the same time,
That's all right.
We were excited. Our kids played well,
Yeah.
and I'd always, like I said, I really have a lot of respect for Coach Lento and what he does at Lakota. So, and going into a game like that, you really don't know.
No.
Heck, I just like I told you, the blue guys, the guys in blue hopefully win.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You definitely won.
I don't care if it's 2-0.
Oh.
Let's go.
All right, so Lakota, they were a really tough team. They've played everybody really, really well. And the first half of the game, you guys were, I thought you were a little sluggish. But you did something at halftime. And the boys came out second half, and they were world beaters. They were taking care of business and taking what they wanted. What did you say to them at halftime? What did you say to them in the locker room that got that huge turnaround and really got them focused? Because a lot of penalties in the first half, but then the second half, very clean, crisp, and they were literally you were running it right at them.
Well, I think one of the things I don't really talk to them at halftime. I think that's one of the best part about it. Coach Tyree and a few other coaches might have had something to say to them. But no, honestly, our kids, I'll give you a little bit that maybe we were sluggish, maybe for about 5 minutes or so in the second quarter. I thought we came out really hot, man. We jumped out. We jumped out hot. We were doing some running, doing some good things, and then all of a sudden penalties came. We were up 22-0, maybe 16-0. I don't remember the exact scores.
22-0.
But at the same time, at halftime,
Yeah.
I know it's 22-14.
14, yeah.
And all of a sudden we got a ball game coming out. And, again, they fought back. They had a great drive. They established some offense in the second quarter. And it wasn't like they had big plays to score. They went
Grounded
6
out.
yards, 8 yards,
Yep.
5 yards, 6 yards, pass, run. So, that was a little bit concerning as they decided to chunk that down there. And all of a sudden, figuring out some ways they could gash us on defense and seeing if our young men would settle down to what they were kind of doing. And then I believe maybe the second one was maybe off a short field turnover. I don't remember how the second score exactly came, but we gave them a short field, I think. They scored. I don't remember. Maybe threw a pick. But anyway, coming out of halftime, our gentlemen were ready to play. They knew that we were amped up. I felt that we were able to do some things in the run game, so we did kind of go back to what we were doing early in the game with some tight end, two-back set. And we were able to establish that in the third quarter, and things really kind of started rolling our way. And we have some tough kids up front that were able to show what they do. They always play hard, but there's a lot of offensive and defensive fronts that give people a lot of fits. So again, our guys fought their butts off up front. Our running backs were able to establish some counter, some stretch, which gave Harry a little bit more opportunity to throw some short passes and do some things because the wind was heavy.
It was.
Remember, it was like 20 mile an hour.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And you were talking about your running backs. You got Warneman, you got Rombach. They were just kind of running. As soon as they turned that corner, got their shoulder down, it was lights out. They took it right to Lakota. And I mean, I'm not the coach, but I would think that those are the type of traits that are huge when you can take it to them.
Oh, you're putting it a little bit differently than I would say about Lakota, for sure, without any doubt there. I'm just trying to talk to you guys here. I'm not trying to offend anybody or do anything crazy. But I really felt like in that second half we were able to establish something which felt good for our young men. And it was great to see those guys run the ball strong. Obviously Jake Rombach and Cal Warner in the backfield do phenomenal. Harry was running the ball early in the game and actually took a shot to the hip and was having a little bit of a tough time moving left to right for a while there in the game. So we were staying in the pocket a little bit more and let the run game take over in the third quarter. And again, kudos to Lakota and some things they did.
Yeah.
That quarterback fought his butt off. 64. I don't do well with names, but 64 is a stud. I don't know what his name is, but that dude lived in our backfield almost as much as Rombach.
I think his name was Garlic.
And our offensive lineman,
if I remember right.
I'm telling you, that kid was tough.
Oh, yeah.
That kid was tough along with a lot of other guys. They get Lento's mentality over there. And
yes, they do.
They get all energized and crazy like he is, and you got a lot to handle. What I mean? He's hard to handle.
He can make me want to run through a wall for him.
So when he gets those guys as excitable as he is, that's a tough thing. But no, anyway, back to our team. We're very excited about the opportunity.
Good.
We thank you guys for having us on, and hope hopefully we can go to Lima and have some success and at least give ourselves a shot late.
So we had a chance to talk to Cal after the game. He was our player of the game last week.
Did he talk to you?
He actually talked. He was very eloquent. So
I've known for 2 years.
He said words.
Cool.
Something we kind of asked him about is it was almost like him and Jacob. They were in a competition between each other, but he talked a lot about Jacob's leadership on the team. I mean, what kind of
competition? If it's competition, it's who can give the other more compliments. They're an outstanding duo. They have they're told the humility between the two of them. Like there is no. They're just so excited to be back there together. Honestly, I think they enjoy talking to each other, and I think they. Honestly, I think one knows half the plays, the other one knows half the plays. So that way, I just put them both back there so they can remind each other what's going on.
They're
doing outstanding.
What's that like during the week, though? I mean, you've got those two guys. They're constantly working. I mean, what's that like to watch as a coach? What's that like to watch just during the week as they prepare for, Lima Central Catholic?
Oh, it's great to watch them all work hard. I mean, they're doing a phenomenal job. There's Coach Brown, the golf coach back here, He's probably a guy you guys got to have on the radio later. He's got some more state experience than I do, this guy coming in the house. But, no, those guys are great, as well as our whole team. They all work hard. Those two are two, like I said, Cal doesn't say much. Romby barely says more, you know what I mean? But they both play their butts off and work hard and understand the game. And we're like I said, they do a great job in leading as well as a lot of our guys. We have a lot of great leaders on our team, and it's just fun to watch the whole unit come together. And I don't have time to say all their names, man. But like I said, you can go through the whole roster. Especially obviously we're a young team with 7 seniors out of 46. But at the same time, there's just some great things hopefully going on that are excitable for right now, and also to build on for the future.
I mean, go ahead.
No, you guys had. I mean, this is a young team.
Yeah.
You can see it on the roster, and then you see it at the beginning of the year in the way that there were some back and forth games, but there were some games that. Maybe they didn't have the output that they wanted out of the game. They didn't have the outcome that they wanted. But they're learning every week, and you can tell because they're putting it together. Especially these last 4 weeks of the season, you can really see, guys like Harry Schultz taking that next step, being that leader that you're looking for. And it's just this junior campaign. You got a lot to look forward to, obviously, next year. But it's time to focus now. Lima Central Catholic this Friday. Now, you guys have a lot of different weapons that you guys like to use. Obviously, you got a couple of stud receivers. You got a few of them, actually, when you look at it. I mean, a lot of different guys to get the ball around to. When you approach this game plan, what's your mentality? Are you looking to try to spread the ball around? You trying to keep it balanced? You want to get the run game? I mean, you got a lot of guys to feed, man. How do you keep everybody happy?
I think at this point, we're about keeping everybody happy. We're about winning.
That's right.
If our team's not happy because one individual doesn't get the ball or make a tackle or get a blitz or something, that's ridiculous.
Well, it's evident in the stats.
And if they don't know that in our locker room, they're in the wrong place.
There's not one guy that stands out above anybody else. It's a team mentality.
Yeah, you could ask a lot of our dudes, and I think they'd probably say the same thing because I don't hide that a whole lot. But at this point, I think it's about trying to do the best we can to put our guys in position. And if it means that somebody's got the hot hand, at this point, things are scoutable but unscoutable. If something works on Friday, you're not worried about it's not week 4. You're not worried about tendencies, this or that. You're worried about doing what it takes. If you find something in the defense or whatever else you can take advantage of, I think you do it to the full aspect to win the game. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what coach would say something different. Obviously, you want to be balanced, so they have to guard everybody. But if they choose not to guard one guy all night, you just keep throwing it to them or running it to them, right? I mean, I don't think that I'm trying to change anything.
Not reinventing
science,
the wheel.
Take what works.
So again, I don't have all those answers, and I think I'm a pretty simple person, so I don't really think that we have a whole lot of crazy stuff going on in our scheme. I'm just trying to get good at a couple things and letting our kids believe that we can be successful and win games by being structured and having some discipline.
Yeah. All right. I like it. Guys, you got any other questions for Coach here? I mean, he's a busy guy. I don't want to keep him too long.
Absolutely. No, we really appreciate it. I'm excited about getting down to Lima on Friday and watch you guys play some tough-nosed football. So good luck this week. Looking forward to a great game.
Thank you very much. Like I said, I appreciate you guys. Obviously, I appreciate our dudes out here that wear our jerseys and play their butts off for us. I think they really do deserve a lot of the recognition you give them. Like I said, they're a bunch of great dudes with a lot of great character that do a lot of things that we don't see. They were at the parade last week, and this isn't just our team. This is all these athletes, whether it's volleyball, whether it's other schools. They all do this stuff. Whether they're at mass, whether they're at the parade, whether they're helping flag football, whether they're down doing the chains at Little League football. These dudes are asked to do so much, and they so many times show up to do it, win, lose, or draw. So just proud of who they are as people.
Too.
Oh, absolutely.
They're great kids, man.
I mean, look at them. I mean, look at them. I mean, they're ugly,
created a great culture there,
but they look good. So
I got to give you credit, Coach.
You know what I mean?
You've created a great culture.
And some of their hair is terrible. Like, look at that hair. Like, that is terrible. I'm talking about Lee. I'm talking about Kevin.
Yeah.
No, you know what I'm saying? But no, I mean, I love these dudes.
I like it.
Just
I don't
brushing
know,
it
man.
back now, Coach.
I might be a little jealous, though, because I can't grow it.
But no,
It's good money for a man like that.
But no, like I said, a bunch of great young men. Excited to be around and have some fun with coaching football. So hopefully we can carry it on.
All right. Well, hopefully we got another game to cover next week, Coach, because we're excited for this one.
All right. I'll make room in my calendar.
Should be a fun time.
Right.
Thanks again.
Awesome.
Appreciate your time, Coach.
Thank you.
We're going to step aside, take a quick timeout, but when we come back, we have Calvert volleyball coach Lori Rombach. We also have a special guest joining us as Will Kurtz, long snapper for Tiffin Calvert, will be joining us on the program. That's all coming to you next right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Go Blue.
And welcome back here, the ultimate tailgate party. Tiffin Calvert Seneca's fundraiser here tonight at Carmies Bar Grill. Nate Mullins, Tommy Hall, and we have another special guest joining us on the program, Tiffin volleyball coach, state champ, 2-time state champ, Lori Rombach.
Stop it.
How are we doing?
Thanks, Nate. I'm good. Thank you.
Coach, I always appreciate your time coming on with us.
Of course. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so you got districts, right? This week we're in districts.
Yes. District finals tomorrow.
And that is what time?
We play at Fremont Ross at 6 o'clock.
And you're playing Fremont St. Joe, correct?
Playing Fremont St. Joe.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Battling out for a district title.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah.
And so then after that, it goes where? Where's the bracket go after that? You don't look ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm like, we are competing tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. That's
at
it.
6
I don't know
o'clock.
about anything else.
And
just
when we win, we'll be at practice on Friday.
That's right.
And
Sorry, I
yeah.
forgot who I'm talking to
Yeah.
here.
No, that's the conversation we had at practice today. You know, we've got one job, and that's tomorrow to compete against St. Joe and to win. And
that's why you've been so successful.
That's where we're going to focus our attention. But,
I mean,
yeah. Beyond that, there's a regional game that's going to be played at Elida Thursday and Saturday the following week.
okay. So
yeah.
there you go. If you're looking ahead,
Yep.
like us media guys like to do.
There you go. Elida Thursday and Saturday.
But no, Coach, what a great season it's been so far.
Thanks, Nate.
Talk a little bit about this group. I mean, you got a really special group right now, and you've had a lot of really special groups over the last 5 years now? 6
This
years?
is year 5.
Year 5.
Yeah. Yep.
You've had some really special groups. How does this one separate itself?
Well, every group is different. I mean, every year is different. I mean, there's, a core group here this year that, they're really carrying us, and we have a good energy with each other. There's role players, we have some freshmen, we have a sophomore, we have juniors, we have a senior, and, that's part of building the program is to have, girls from every class. We have Hannah Miller, who's our return All-Ohio player, who elevates our team to the next level.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody's come and watch us play, you can see, Hannah's a pretty dynamic player.
Very.
Her sister
Very much
Olivia's running our offense this year, and she's doing a great job of feeding our hitters the ball. And we have some great, defensive players back there. We have Cecilia Palm as our libero, and Claire Schoenberger is another freshman that stepped in, is helping us defensively. And
Got a young squad.
yeah, when you look at returning letter winners, I mean, we have Caroline and Cameron and Hannah that really have played on the court in these big games. But short of that, I mean, Cecilia, we played a little bit.
Yeah,
but
not an easy program to letter. I mean, that's one thing that people don't understand is, when you're part of one of those successful programs, sometimes you got to sit under the learning tree until your number's called upon. And having some of that youth and experience, that's one of the trademarks of what I think is makes such a successful program as well as successful coach. And you talk about every group being different, and accentuating those positives and hiding them negatives. What are some of those positives you guys take away each and every practice to where you start to form these leadership roles and getting these guys out there ready for that next step as a program?
Every time we get together, every game we've played, we have a similar conversation. We're going to get better today. We're going to get better today. And whether we're playing Bishop Hartley and we get beat, we're getting better. Whether we play, a team that isn't as competitive, we're going to get better playing them because, we're learning things and we're having to do things that we don't necessarily have to do when you're playing Liberty Benton or Bishop Hartley. And sometimes those lessons are, more important in the long run. You have to show up and compete on a Tuesday when it means nothing if you want to be able to compete, on a Thursday at district finals.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it's so hard for some championship teams to carry that mentality week to week, game to game. You do a great job of kind of keeping these girls even-keeled, keeping the mindset where it needs to be. And it's so fun to watch. I mean, I've had a backseat watching so far, but we're trying really hard to angle our way into maybe covering some Calvert volleyball.
I love that.
I don't want to talk ahead of time here, but maybe next week if that happens. We're not getting ahead of ourselves, not putting the cart before the horse here or nothing, but it'd be pretty cool to be able to get over there and check out some Calvert girls volleyball before basketball season gets going.
Yeah.
But you guys, this girls' team, it's a lot of youth, but there's some, like you said, there's a core group right now that's kind of driving the bus. But how do you get some of these younger girls into position to be successful? Because it feels like these girls are stepping in and they're just ready right away. And you've got freshmen that are playing key roles for you right now. Now, I know that obviously we have a great program in the Black Swamp volleyball
For
program.
sure.
And I know that some of these girls are coming from that program, and it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's a feeder program, but it kind of helps to have those girls basically already developed by the time they get to you and they're ready to go. Talk about that and how that kind of helps you as a coach.
Sure. Well, there is no doubt. I mean, Black Swamp and, a lot of the girls in the area, too, are going to different clubs, other clubs as well.
Yeah.
So, our athletes, as well as athletes at Columbian and Seneca East and all these local schools, they have athletes that participate in those clubs volleyball. So they're coming in with a level of skill that is advantageous for our school, for sure. But, that doesn't build a successful program all the time. And, I think you ask, how do we do it or what are we doing? And I think it really comes down to you have Hannah Miller, you have Casey Klaus, you have Cassandra Emily, our 3 seniors. They're festering these younger kids. They're making them feel welcome and, accepted. I mean, some of those freshmen are playing over a couple of those seniors. That's not an easy role for some of those seniors to make. We have the juniors, Caroline and Cameron. They're welcoming the Carly Meyer, who really is, competing for their spot. That takes a special person.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that's something that has been that's the way it's been at Calvert Volleyball. When my daughter Kate played, she came in as a freshman and contributed. She had the, Lexi Whites and the Shelby Hemmingers and the Sophie Burtisses who were taking her under her wing. So that's how Kate learned. That's now how, Caroline, Cameron, and Hannah, they're, teaching and exhibiting these skills that were given to them when they were freshmen.
Just carrying the torch that was passed down to them. That's
For
essential.
those names, it's just, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like,
It's a pantheon.
man, how long have we been doing this?
I know, right? Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
So, and hopefully, the longevity of our program, you're going to have the Carleys and the Emily Millers and the Claire Schoenbergers. Those are the freshmen. And then, they're going to be doing the same thing when they're a junior to the incoming freshmen and sophomores. If we want to be good and go far, that's what our program needs. And it's not always easy. You have, you mentioned that there's athletes that are just, in the wings kind of waiting. A lot of these girls are next girls up. Mm-hmm. And they're that way for a long period of time. And it's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult, but I think it's one of those things that you accept. Again, it doesn't dissuade. It's not too hard to dissuade you to come into a program when you see, the first thing when you see Welcome to Tiffin, you see a couple signs in there that welcome you to the volleyball country that is Calvert. But, again, constantly learning. That's one of the big points I've always taken out of talking to you and sitting under the learning tree with you and consistently trying to get better. So I got to ask, the notebook there, is that a little Coach Klein from the Waterboy type green notebook action you got going on there?
Any of the girls that know me know, and this is just, it's kind of like a security blanket for me. It's all my notes. It's like,
Oh, man.
I never know.
awesome.
Yeah, it's just what I do.
Treasure chest of information in there.
It's not really that much.
Well, and I imagine anybody who tries to read that is going to try to decipher some kind of code.
You wouldn't be able to.
You're not going to be able to
my
read it.
chicken
It's
scratch.
just a bunch of notes.
That's right. Yeah. Random thoughts.
So anybody over
That's
at Fremont St. Joe's with their eyes on the bench?
No.
Yeah,
Nothing
close
happening.
to the vest.
Nothing happening. So, Coach, anything you want to kind of shout out? Any players you want to give highlight to? Any maybe contributors to the program that you want to kind of give thanks to?
We always appreciate our fans and the support we get in Tiffin. We really do. I mean, it's so warming to be on the court and to feel the support, to look up there and see, faces of graduates that don't have any skin in the game, and they're there just supporting us.
Yeah.
And that's just awesome. It really is. We get a lot of support, and, we talked today at practice, all the girls, it's such this pressure that we feel sometimes is a privilege, and we have to embrace it and just have fun and just keep competing. When you start to think about really all the details, it becomes overwhelming, and there's no sense in doing that. Like, us coaches just try to keep the girls relaxed and just, enjoy the moment. Like, these are memories you're making that when you're 45, you're going to be looking back on and remembering. So we're just trying to keep it light and and hopefully we just keep competing well and win and move on. That's what we want to do. We want to win and move on.
One thing I always love about you, Coach, you have a great perspective. It's just whatever we're trying to talk about, you have a great way of bringing it all together. You have a really good perspective on not just sports but life in general. So I really appreciate the time tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, once again, Calvert head volleyball coach Lori Rombach, thank
Thanks,
you
Nate.
so much.
Yep.
Always.
Thank you.
A pleasure.
Thank you.
We're going to step
Definitely,
aside, take a quick timeout. What was that,
We'll
Tom?
definitely keep their fingers on the pulse and
Yes.
follow, again, closely the Calvert
would be great.
volleyball.
We
as,
cover you every week in the Heart of Ohio Sports Observer.
Great.
So Josh Morgan does a great job covering you guys. So we try to slip it in every week and
Perfect.
cover you guys.
It's a hard ticket to get. Get. Trust me, Calvert volleyball.
Yeah.
If you haven't got a chance, again, where are you guys playing at tomorrow?
We're at Fremont Ross, 6 o'clock against Fremont St. Joe.
There you go. District final, trying to bring home the district championship.
We're going to fight for it. Yes, we are.
All right,
Thank
Coach. Once again, Lori Rumbach joining us on the program. We're going to step aside, take a real quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have Calvert long snapper Will Kurtz and Calvert girls golf coach Matt Brown also possibly joining us on the program. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. You're tuned in right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. And we're back here at Carmies Bar and Grill for the ultimate tailgate party. Tonight's Tiffin Calvert Seneca's fundraiser. 15% of all sales from 6 to 9 p.m. go back to the Calvert Athletic Booster Department. So come on out, help us raise some funds for Tiffin Calvert. Nate Mullins, Tommy Hall, and we have another special guest joining us on the program, Calvert long snapper Will Kurtz. So, do you like to be called long snapper, or would you rather be called something else, like Calvert defensive lineman or linebacker? Which do you prefer?
I'm fine with linebacker.
Just Will Kurtz is fine.
Oh,
How about
just
that?
My name, yeah,
So, hey, man, what a fun ride this year, huh?
yeah, it's been a great year, man. Great team.
Yeah. You guys got a really good team,
coaches.
a lot of camaraderie. I feel like the chemistry is really good this year with you guys. You got a lot of – I feel like this group has been together for a while. Even though you only got 7 seniors on the squad, you're one of those 7 seniors. Talk about your role as a leader on this team. Like, what kind of pressure do you put on yourself as a leader going into this season?
Coming into the season, I just try to be the best role model for my teammates, kind of pushing them harder, showing them just the ways how to better yourself, make the team better by practicing hard.
Yeah. So you're kind of like a lead by example kind of guy then.
Yeah.
All right. I can feel it. I can dig it. So you came into this season. Now I've been following your dad on Facebook for a little while, and he comes into Madison's a lot, so that's how I know him. And then, I've been following him and following your story quite a bit. And, the one thing that I keep seeing him post a lot of your, whenever you take a recruiting visit or whatever, you have been to a lot of different places over the last year or so. Mm-hmm. Now, talk about your journey. This year, coming into this year, you went to a lot of different campuses, and then you've still continued that tour throughout the season. Talk about the balance that you have to keep throughout the season to be able to, maintain focus, but also you're focusing on your future as well. So talk about that and how you keep the balance there.
Yeah, well, coming into the season, I didn't have a ton of looks, but I was still getting some. And I came into the season like I had to worry about playing good in the games, off the field, good grades, talking to coaches constantly, and then when I'm on the field, play my best game I can every game.
Yeah.
Now, you want to talk about a underrated and definitely fearful, scary position, long snapping. I'll talk to you about that a little bit. I had the honor and privilege of getting to play college football, and I played center in college. And then when I got to college, one of the weird questions that kind of struck me is on special teams, they were kind of asking, has anyone here ever long snapped or snapped football? And I kind of trepidatiously put my hand up and really took on that role of learning the long snap, how that differs from being a center. What is it about long snapping that kind of caught your attention and where you found that you might have found your niche? And what are some of the things that these coaches look for as they prepare you or get you ready to be like, hey, this is a quality long snapper, because it's about consistency.
Yeah, so really I started out actually as a center, yeah. When I played Little League football. And I started out as a center, and then they asked me if I could long snap, and I was like, I'll try it. And I kept doing it, and I was like, this is one of those positions that it could become like a career path for me. I could use it to my advantage for things. So nice. I started doing that. And
when did you really kind of focus on long snapping as like, all right, now this is something I could definitely focus on?
In 8th grade.
Nice.
Because I looked up, me and my dad were just hanging out, and we looked up online Coles, which is where I go to train and do all my competitions and stuff where they rank me.
Where's that at?
They do it wherever. Like I had to go to Florida one time for their Future Stars camp. I got invited to that.
That's
and
cool.
then Gatlinburg, Tennessee is their big one. It's the National Showcase camp.
Nice.
And most of the coaches, they really look for consistency, where you can put the ball, snap speed, how fast you get it back there, and they like rotation and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice. So I talking to your dad a little bit in the before the season started, and he said one thing that the coaches that you talk to keep mentioning is they want to see you play a little bit more defense. Mm-hmm. So what was the mentality going into this season with that in mind? What was your mindset? Like, what were you thinking? Like, okay, I got to get more tackles, or I got to get sacks, or I got to get TFLs, or was it just an overall defensive mindset of just got to get better?
I came in. I knew I had to step up from last year. Last year I didn't think I had the best year defensively.
Were you a linebacker last year
Yeah,
as well?
I did.
Okay.
But, yeah. I came in this year just knowing I had to step up my game, improve. Over the summer I lifted a lot, tried to get bigger, gain some weight, and I've had a better season.
I would say so.
Already, yeah.
Top 12 in the SBC in tackles on the year, and you're also there sitting there on the sack list as well. I mean, talk about the step that you've taken to improve your game defensively and how that's helped you in your long snapping game as well.
Gained the weight, the muscle that I put on. I mean, made my snaps faster, and I can also run down the field and tackle somebody. That shows college coaches that I can get down the field and tackle as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I was getting beat by the punter.
So this has been a fun ride for you this year, obviously. Don't want it to end. What's your mindset going into this Lima Central Catholic game, man?
Play this game like it's been my last. I don't want high school to end.
Yeah,
You know?
right?
Nobody does.
That's absolutely right. So, you got to feel like a certain way this week as you go through practice. You got to feel – there was certain weeks where, as a coach or a player, you kind of have this, all right, I get this feeling like, oh, I'm feeling good this week. You just feel it. You can just feel it. You getting that feeling this week?
Oh, yeah.
I can sense it. I can sense there's some confidence. You guys are looking pretty confident right now. Now, I'm not saying it. I'm not giving any bulletin board material here, but it's good to go into this kind of a game with confidence because, I mean, there's a lot of people that might be writing you guys off. Do you take that mentality as kind of like a slight and maybe use that as kind of fuel for your fire?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, people might be saying, okay, you got Lima Central Catholic. It's one of the perennial teams in the area. They're always good. And, they played a gauntlet of a schedule. But you guys are just as good. You guys have just the same amount of tradition. You're always there. You're always one of the state playoff teams. So you got to be thinking to yourself, what do we got to do to get respect? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you go into games like this, do you not take that mentality of, screw what everybody thinks. We're going to go out here and ball out.
Yeah, that's how I go into every game. I don't care what they think about me. I play my game.
I love it. Well, I know for a fact that Coach Reeser doesn't care. He's instilled that mindset into you guys. Don't listen to the outside noise. Just keep it all inside. And I'll tell you, one thing I've noticed, as I said to you earlier, you guys have a great chemistry this year. For such a small senior class, that speaks volumes to the program that you guys have created there and the culture that's been created there at Tiffin Calvert. So, once again, I want to thank you for coming on with us. Any shout-outs, man?
My parents. And teammates.
Yes, I love it. That's always, when I ask kids for shout-outs, I hope that one of those kids says, my mom, my dad, thanks to mom and dad, because you know how many sacrifices they made to get you to where you're at right now, man? Like,
ton.
It's awesome that you gave them the shout-out first. Once again, Will, thank you. Appreciate your time.
Good luck, young man. It's going to be an honor to follow you down the road as we've had with so many athletes. So, again, next level athlete, good luck to you in your future endeavors as we keep an eye on young Kurtz and his college football journey. I mean,
You've got a lot of teams looking at you right now. This is one of those games where you could really have a nice showcase game right here. So,
like the pressure ain't enough. Leave the guy alone. Let him go get some good food here.
All right, Will, once again, thanks for coming on with us, man. Appreciate your time. As always, we're going to step aside, take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll have our final guest on with us, Tiffin Calvert girls golf coach Matt Brown, joining us live on the program. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're locked in right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Hey guys, welcome back to the ultimate tailgate party here at Carmies Bar Grill. Nate Mullins, Tommy Hall, and now we've got Calvert girls golf coach on with us, Matt Brown.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Great. How are you?
State,
yes.
golf coach.
Yeah, it's been just a Cinderella story for these kids.
It's been a whirlwind for you,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, it's incredible.
You were telling me about this
incredible.
in May. You were
Yeah.
like, this girls' golf team, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you need to cover them. You need to be out. You need to figure out a way. And I'll tell you, when we get more wireless capabilities, maybe that might be in the schedule, but
Yeah. I get it.
It's hard.
It is hard. You can't.
9 holes of golf to 18 holes. That's hard to cover,
It
man.
is. You got girls all over the place, and I just like I said, we were just at the state tournament in Columbus, and
Man,
I
you
had
told me about
I had
this
girls
team.
all over the place. And
We'll have
it's
Greggy
hard.
shooting from the cart.
yeah, we can have him shooting from the cart. He used to go on a coach's cart and right
Yeah.
on me.
There you go.
Oh, that.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the boosters board meeting, and I told them a couple months ago. I said, "Hey, look, these kids are close. They could really do this. They're close." And I don't think anybody in the room even thought I was serious. They just
Didn't take you serious?
Like you're nuts. Like you have no. And I was just in shock that we broke out of districts.
Right.
I mean, we shouldn't even. We weren't even supposed to break out of sectionals. Everybody just wrote us off. These young kids, these young girls, it's done the second year. 5 of them 2 years ago didn't know how to hold a golf club.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Seriously, 5 of them didn't know how to go to a golf club. The only girl we had experience was my daughter, Brooklyn Brown, and she'd played other tournaments, and, she's had professional lessons, and, she know how to, and she's been, one of our better golfers, and we had, I want to shout out for all our golfers this year. They worked really hard.
Yeah.
They really, really did. Like I say, for 2 years for these young ladies to go to state, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And we pulled out of Sycamore Springs over at Arlington after districts, and it was like, I told them when I was driving the van back, I said, ladies, I'm a big fan of people that work hard to get big dividends. You're going to get the biggest one ever in your life right now, because this is never going to happen for you ever again.
That's cool.
You're a senior. 4 of them are seniors.
Now, has this ever happened at Tiffin Calvert?
Never. This is the first women's golf program they ever had.
Wow.
Yeah. When they asked me to come in and coach,
That's so cool.
I was helping coach with Pat Heron a couple years ago. and-
Pat.
Legend Pat, okay?
Legend.
And so I had to do women and men's last year. And last year, the boys went to districts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so this year I told Paul Shoemaker, I said, listen, I want to dedicate my time to the women. We've worked really hard together. We've got a great relationship. I want to stick with these ladies. And they did put together a men's team. But, boy, these women just, they work so hard. And I wanted to continue this ride with them. It's just been an incredible ride.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, then, some of our viewers, they might not be as apt to golf as, some other people are. I got to ask you, coming from a coaching perspective, getting into the coaching game, not just from playing golf, but coaching women's golf, what's the differences? Because we're talking about, I can't even decide what club to use half the time from the tees that I'm used to going off of. How do you kind of teach that at the high school level and kind of adapt to being like, you know what, maybe you should use this?
A lot of patience. Okay, a boatload of patience.
I have none of that. That's why you don't see me on the
And like I tell
on
you,
the green anymore.
I've learned to have patience with these young ladies. We first start them out, showing them like I usually get a 7-iron out, and I use my daughter as a visual tool for them. I would put her up there. We had some guys from Tiffin University. Even I would stop our practice and watch these guys golf, and watch how they swing. Heidelberg was out one night. We watched the Heidelberg men's. So I think visually, when they watch somebody, it helps them. But yeah, we
That's
start out with
key.
a 7-iron. Talk about ball placement, stance, grip. All those factors have to come into play because the ball in your stance is huge. Okay. It dictates a lot of things. And your grip, these girls have a big, powerful, they're over here like this, and I want this left hand over more. It just takes time. If I've told them one time, I've told them 1,000 times, keep your head still. Keep your head down. Don't move your head. They hate it when I say that because they're tired of hearing it. Guess what? If you don't keep your head down, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I proved that with one of our seniors this year. She slowed down in Columbus. She kept her head down. She stayed focused. Kid played the best golf of her life. Good for her. That's the place to bring it.
In the state
Yeah,
round,
for
I think
sure.
I said-
That's
that was the place to bring it.
Step it up.
Now, we didn't, let me give you a couple statistics. Out of 192 D2 girls teams in the state, we were 12th. So, and I tried to tell these kids, let's and listen, Calvert's the smallest school in the state. Yeah, 2 years. Calvert's the smallest school in the state to even offer women's golf. If you look up on the app and you go all the way down the list, it's several pages. Right at the bottom, it's going to say Calvert. Tiffin Calvert's what it says.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and you're right. 2 years, it was a great ride. I mean, and next year we're gonna rebuild. We're gonna get 4 new young ladies come in. We've got Alyssa Rishti, who was 3rd in the SBC this year. Okay, behind 2 great players, one from Hopewell Loudon, Marissa Klein, and Camille Stevens from Danbury. I want to give a shout out to those 2 young ladies because they did a great job.
Yeah.
They really did. I mean, if you see those 2 ladies play golf, they play golf a lot better than the 3 of us will ever play golf. Let me assure you that. Okay.
You don't want to see me play golf.
No.
Let me just tell you that.
I didn't even have time to play golf in the last 2 years. I might have played 4 times because you're out the golf course all the time working with these young ladies, and we had stations for them. Like we'd have 2 working in the sand, 2 working on the putting green, and I had 2 over here on the short green. So we'd rotate them. So I had stations so I could go over and give them personal attention. I brought a buddy of mine in, Carmy Mangiolo. He's a great putter. He come in, give him a putting lesson one night. I took the girls over to Fostoria Country Club. Cheryl Fox, who's a professional.
It's a beautiful course, too, by the way.
I absolutely love it. Great shout out for Cheryl and the guys that do a great job over there. She put them in the sand, and we had a sand lesson. It comes better from somebody else. You and I can, 3 of us go out, we can teach, and tell them. But guess what? When you have somebody else come in and show them, it might click because they might understand them differently.
Exactly.
So that's why I try to mix it up. I don't want to keep, they need to see somebody like Coach Brown. They're sick of me. They want to see somebody else's face. And I'll tell you, when we took them to Fostoria, they just related it to Cheryl, and it clicked. And we had a 2-hour sand lesson. I mean, it was beautiful.
That's awesome.
She did a great job. Cheryl did a great job.
So Coach, season is technically over now, right?
Yes.
We're done with golf, but
Yep.
golf's never done.
No, never
right?
done.
Never done.
No, let's go to South Carolina right now and go golf.
What do you do now? Like, what's your season off-season schedule look like?
First of all, we're gonna have a meeting at Calvert. I want to talk to all the 8th grade girls.
Okay.
And I want to talk to all the women. And we're looking for the girls that aren't playing volleyball.
Yeah.
Who aren't running cross country.
Yep.
Who aren't doing one of those fall sports. We need you. We don't want to see you, not spending your quality time outside because we get to go to some beautiful golf courses.
Yeah.
I mean, we played at Thunderbird 4 times this year in Huron. I mean, if you've never been to it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous place.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, and we practice at Mohawk, and we get to play at Mohawk. I mean,
that is a privilege.
Yes, it is
I'm telling you right now.
big privilege.
It's a gorgeous golf course.
Yes, a gorgeous golf course.
I've only got to play one time.
So
I'm not a golfer.
they let you back.
Hey, one time. That's it. That's all I get. One time. They said never again.
So we're gonna have a big meeting, and we're gonna talk to young ladies, and then from there we're gonna put together a schedule. Want to get them started in some simulators this winter. The YMCA has a simulator.
I was just about to mention that. That's actually kind of cool.
So we're going to get them in there. I worked with Buster. We're going to talk to Buster, and we're going to get them worked into that. Then we're going to have a schedule, and then I'd like to see them, end of May, we want to start, going outside, having some clinics. And in June, technically the season doesn't start till August the 1st. OHSA, you cannot have organized practice until August 1st. Mm-hmm.
But they can do their own thing.
Oh, yeah, we can do our own thing. We can get together. We can have clinics. We can do whatever.
Yeah.
Open course, and come on out and work with us. That's my schedule. And then we'll put together a schedule for, we'd like to see you out every day in July, if you can. Every day in July. I want to see you every day in July. And then that way our season usually starts the first week of August.
There you go.
We have a lot of golf done by, end of August. We got a ton of golf already on.
That's awesome.
Last year we played a very small schedule, maybe 8 or 10 matches, because we didn't know how this was going to work. These ladies never played golf before. We didn't know. We didn't want to. So this year, we just went ahead. Paul went ahead and scheduled a full 20-match season, and we played 4 or 5 invitationals. We played a lot of golf this year. It's been a long. It's been a long season.
You poor thing.
Yeah, I know. I know. Thank you.
All that
much golf.
All that golf.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
He says done.
Yeah, but I'm excited for it. Like I said, it's been a Cinderella story. These young ladies are just incredible ride.
Yeah.
I mean, They don't know what they did. They created history at Calvert. They're the first women's golf team at Calvert, and in 2 years, these kids went to state. It's phenomenal. You know, I know people that played 4 years that never got to state. You know,
Yeah.
and one of my daughters being one of them. You know, she missed going by 3 strokes one year. So and golf is women's golf. I don't know if obviously you guys don't follow it, but women's golf has just exploded in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
It really has.
When I remember when my daughter graduated, there was 92 unused girls golf scholarships in the state of Ohio when unused. Yeah, you couldn't hand them out.
I think women's sports
crazy.
just in general has grown exponentially.
For
'Cause I've
sure.
even seen
Absolutely.
advertisements for, coming off from powder puff football, getting into women's wrestling season.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah, exactly.
we've definitely come a long way of giving these options to everybody.
Absolutely.
So, inclusive, and then also again getting out on the links myself. Again, I'm already looking forward to seeing the future over there at Calvert Golf.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll hit up the links ourselves.
All right, I'd love to have you guys come out.
should be fun.
Absolutely, I'd love to get together. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Coach, any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go? I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah, just want to say hi to all my team members. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're doing, enjoying your evening, and just keep enjoying life. That's just stay after it.
There you go.
Shout out to my daughter and Brooklyn, and my shout out to my other daughter Maddie, who's a senior at Miami, Ohio this year.
That's awesome.
Want to shout out to her and just all the Calvert fans. All the people that came out this year. It's hard to watch golf. Because it's all over the place. And you put 6 kids out there. They're at 6 different holes all the time. So it's hard for everybody to come out and watch. The people who did come out and watch this year, we really did appreciate that. So, but to all my fans, all my personal friends, everybody that supported me, I mean, the list is lengthy.
Yeah.
But I really did appreciate it. I mean, like I said, it's been a moving experience for me, and do it next year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Saddle up. Get ready to do it again next year.
Absolutely. Yeah, you bet.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Coaches need motivation just as much as players do.
Oh,
So again,
that's right.
You bet.
to see what you've done with this program, again, it's inviting, and it's also, one of those things that you look forward to as Calvert women's golf starts to explode.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see how we're going to do next year, Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Always look forward to the
we have
future.
very high standards to follow.
Set the bar pretty high,
You
Coach.
set the bar pretty high in 2 years, yeah. I didn't swing the club. They did.
Yeah, well, you had something to do with it.
I was
though.
the bus driver.
Listen to you.
Yeah.
Frank
All right.
MJ says the ceiling is the roof.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, the roof is- yeah, that's exactly right.
All right, guys. It's been a fun night, but I think that's pretty much going to do it for us. Once again, I want to give a huge shout-out and a thank you to all of our guests tonight. Coach Steve Reeser, of course, Calvert long snapper and linebacker Will Kurtz coming on with us, as well as Calvert volleyball coach Lori Rumbach, and currently on with us right now.
Thank you, brother.
Calvert girls
Appreciate it.
golf coach Matt
Appreciate it.
Brown.
Appreciate it.
Once again, thanks to all of you for tuning in. Hey,
Well,
if
you
you've
shut-
made it this far,
Shutting this party down already, man. Again, it's not too late. 6 to 9
you
p.m.
still got a little bit of time.
Carmies,
Yeah, half hour, sure.
Carmies,
Why not?
Well, it's still packed in here.
Yeah,
That's
it is
right.
packed.
Calvert faithful again.
Absolutely
it's-
great turnout
You
tonight.
lost track of time. It's already 8:30 now.
Yeah.
So
I know.
At least you're
Shutting it down
you're
a little
steering this
late,
boat,
but,
you know.
All right, guys. For Tommy Hall and, of course, the Wizard, Greg Kinn, I'm Nate Mullins, signing off from Carmies Bar and Grill. This has been the ultimate tailgate party here at the Tiffin Calvert Seneca's fundraiser. Thanks for tuning in with us here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Please make sure you share the video, like, follow, and subscribe on all of our platforms. Thanks again, guys. Have a good night.